Hello everybody, my name is Joshua and I'd like to welcome you back to another episode of Coffee, Cats, and King, where we discuss books both new and old. I will share with you pictures of my cats that will make you wish they were your cats, and I will drink enough coffee from me and everybody watching. Today my cup is this cup, says Mr. on one side and Love is Magical on the other. This came from Disney in Orlando, Florida. It was a wedding gift from some friends of ours. So thank you, Ray and Kalitza. Nothing exciting for my shirt today. It's just one of my old MMA shirts. So today I'm here with a book review times 2. So the books I will be reviewing: Bring Me Children by David Martin and Animus. I love that cover. By Ed Kelleher and Harriette Vidal. So, haven't really done a video like this just yet. So far all my reviews have been on Goodreads, but I'm going to try it out, see how it goes, see what you guys think. And without further ado, let's get started. Alright, start with the one that I read first, and that's Bring Me Children by Mr. David Martin. I talked about this in a couple of my videos about how I'd heard that this was a crazy, zany, messed up ride, and I will tell you, it most certainly is. So, Bring Me Children is about this disgraced reporter named John Lyon, and John is disgraced because during a newscast he starts bawling on live television, and that is pretty much the end of his career. And what makes him cry, though, is this news story about children being murdered in the United States, and those murders going unsolved. So this is important because he is then contacted by a woman who claims to have information on a Dr. Quindell, who was indicted in the murder of 18 children and got off scot-free. She claims that he called her, harassed her, told her exactly how he did it, that he tortured these babies, and basically just laughed in her face. She is now trying to get John to go and investigate this man, and she has a very strange way of going about it. She first gives him this little coffin that's about yay big, has a doll of Dr. Quindell inside, says it's going to protect him, and that she will be with him protecting him, and then she steps out into the street and gets hit by a vehicle. For some reason, this intrigues John enough to actually go out of his way, hunt down Quindell, find out what's going on. So he ends up in this cabin owned by the lady who got hit by the vehicle. And this is sort of his hangout, his base to try and get information on Quindell. When he arrives there, there is a coffin sitting in the kitchen with this young, beautiful African-American woman inside. And he thinks she's dead. He's not entirely sure if she's dead, but mostly he's just curious what the heck is going on. In the meantime, we have all this other stuff happening in the background. There's a man dropping babies off inside these dark caves. We don't know if they're offerings for something or what. There is a dwarf who's kind of feared by everyone in the town. He's a hermit. He lives off on his own, and he raises these massive bear dogs that everyone's scared of. And I mean, it's crazy. Dr. Quindell himself is, he's out there. He's out there. He was blinded by a tumor that he had removed, and as such, he feels the need to punish those who were gifted with sight when his was taken, and he feels that they are undeserving of it. So at times he appears fairly normal. He's an intelligent man. He was a doctor for many years. Intelligent guy. He appears very normal, but when you get him mad, he gets a little crazy. He carries around Mr. Spoon, which is this massive tablespoon that he will use to scoop out people's eyes. He has a particular torture locked away in a cabinet that he refers to as Mr. Giggly, and he is just not a very nice man whatsoever. He's kind of kept this woman captive for the last year and just constantly berates her, makes her do these awful things, helps him steal children, and it's just, there's so much messed up stuff in this book. Honestly, if you are faint of heart, don't read it. I'm going to tell you now, there's all kinds of murder, there's rape, there is some really awful torture going on, but it's very well written. It's very well written, and this is kind of what I was talking about. You can write these scenes, you can talk about these things if you do it in the correct way, and David Martin does it in the correct way for the most part. It's a blast to read. If you're into messed up horror, Bring Me Children is awesome. It's not perfect. There are some definite issues. I particularly had a problem with the lead female character. Her name is Claire. Her character was just very weird. She kind of has these unnatural abilities. She has this strange devotion to John, even though honestly John is also a pretty terrible guy. I don't know, it's very odd. It's a weird situation. There are parts that just have no place in there whatsoever, like when John first meets Claire. It's pretty messed up, guys. It's messed up, it's gross, but if you stick with the book, there's some really cool stuff in there, and it is a lot of fun to read. I will definitely be picking up more from David Martin. So, let me get a little sip of coffee here before I continue. It's good stuff. Today I am drinking the Writer's Block coffee that my wife got me. It's a special blend that this guy sells on Etsy, and it's pretty good stuff. Alright, second book review. This is for Animus. And so this was Ed Kelleher and Harriette Vidal, and they actually wrote a decent number of books together. I got this with another of theirs called The Spell, and I'm hoping to get to that one soon. But I picked this up, I saw it on eBay, and this was the only copy I could find, period. And with a cover like that, I knew I had to have it. It very clearly looked like a scary, murderous doll, and I've told you guys before, I love that kind of thing, so had to have it, had to pick it up. As it turns out, it's not about that at all. Okay, there is a creepy doll, but he's barely involved, and he's just that. He's a doll. There's nothing weird about him. But I'll get into that. So Animus, Animus is about a woman named Catherine. Catherine has a traumatic experience as a child that involves her imaginary friend Bobo. And after this traumatic experience, Bobo disappears and just never comes back. She's about 8 years old when this happens. Fast forward to when she's in her early 20s. She is just married to a man named Ian. Ian is a piece of crap. It's not spoiling anything. I mean, from the very first scene that he is in, you know it. This guy he's awful. He's just a piece of crap. I hated him. He was that, manly man that thinks that, women should obey their husbands and be quiet otherwise. And what really bothered me is that Catherine does just that. She does not really stand up for herself. She is not a strong female lead whatsoever. But you have to keep in mind, this book came out... When did it come out? Okay, well, the book came out in 1993, so I guess that's not even a good excuse to say that, it's an older book, because I came out in 1994, but, So anyway, though, he is very much the manly man who, expects to be listened to, and it really just seems like he's using Catherine for her money. But anyway, basically what happens is Catherine is about to inherit her childhood home, and that is where the traumatic experience occurred. Around this time, is married to Ian, and very quickly starts to learn just how terrible Ian is. He pushes her around. He's constantly berating her and bringing her down, making decisions for her, will not let her pick or choose how to live her life whatsoever. So around this time, Bobo comes back, starts showing up to Catherine again. Catherine's having these wonderful conversations with him. Ian finds out, gets very mad, and sends Catherine to see a therapist. And the therapist basically tells Catherine, look, you're having this because you're in a very stressful time in your life, and Bobo was your safety net, so Bobo is back. Meanwhile, there's a lot going on, but the main focus of the book is on Catherine and Bobo. And I'm not going to spoil anything that happens, but let's just say that, to no one's surprise, Bobo is not necessarily as imaginary as everyone else seems to think, even though Catherine keeps telling him he's real, he's real, he's real. No one wants to listen to him. So eventually, Bobo comes around, and Bobo is not too happy about the way that people treat his lady, Miss Catherine. So, I said, this book throws out a lot of red herrings, in my opinion. Catherine is a doll maker, so she starts making this doll that perfectly resembles the Bobo she remembers as a child. Based upon that, and based upon this cover, I would have thought that doll came to life as Bobo. Doesn't happen whatsoever. It's just, the doll is there, they talk about how creepy it is, nothing ever happens with it. And there are a couple scenes and a couple things that occur that are like that, that just seem like plot points that were left in there on accident, almost. That said, Animus was a lot of fun to read. I very much enjoyed it. I love this cover. Love this cover. I think it's great. It's cheesy and wonderful, and everything that I enjoy about old horror, even though it's not that old. It is not a perfect book by any means. Like I said, it is very hard to listen to the way Ian talks to her, and to listen to the way that Catherine just lets herself be talked to and abused. But it's still a good book. Very enjoyable read. I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. And yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I look forward to reading The Spell that I got from them. So there you go. It's my first official review video on here. I might or might not keep it in this format, this book review ×2 format. Tell me what you think. And if you have read either of these books, again, tell me down below. Give me your opinions and thoughts or suggestions based upon these books. And as always, thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you again soon. Before we go, cats. Gotta have our cats. Why are they so freaking cute? saw you over there, Chaos. All right, thanks guys. Cheers.